All right, here we're going to graph an ellipse that has a center at 0, 0. And instead of being a horizontal ellipse where it's stretching out from left to right, this one is going to be a vertical ellipse where it's stretching up and down. So first off, we know that the center is at 0, 0 at the origin because the numerator of both of the fractions is just x squared and y squared. It's not x plus 2 squared or x minus 5 squared. In those cases, the center would be at a different point. But this is just x squared and y squared. So I'm just going to draw a dot right here at the center, 0, 0. Now, in order to find the edges of the ellipse, we find the vertices. The vertices are where it starts curving and going in the other direction. And to find those points, we need to know what A is and what B is. So if we look at the standard form of an ellipse, A squared is the number underneath the x squared. So A squared is 9. So that means that A must be positive or negative 3. And then B squared is the number underneath the y squared. So B squared is 25. So if you think about what that means B must be either positive or negative 5. So to come up with the points, what this is saying are the edges of our ellipse are either 3 units away from the center or 5 units away from the center. The 3 units was related to that 9. Notice that the 9 is the denominator under the x squared. So the 3 needs to be the x coordinate. Means that we're going 3 units along the x-axis to the left and right from the center. So here would be a point. 1, 2, 3. And here would be the other point, 3 units away from the center. Now the B is the number of units away from the center along the y-axis because the 25 is the denominator of the fraction with the y squared. So the 5 is the distance up and down away from the center. So the y coordinate would be a positive 5 and a negative 5. So 5 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once we have those points, then we can sketch our ellipse. And here we go. So in this case, when we're trying to find the foci, the formula is going to be a little bit different because the major axis, that's the axis that it's stretched along. You notice it's stretched along the y-axis. So the major axis would be the y-axis because the distance up and down away from the center is bigger than the distance right and left. So the axis going right and left is called the minor axis. So the foci is the distance from the center along the major axis. And the formula changes slightly. Instead of it being the square root of a squared minus b squared, it's the b squared minus the a squared. It's always the big number minus the smaller number. So it would be 25 minus 9, which is the square root of 16, which is 4. So the foci are 4 units away from the center along the major axis, so it would be 4 units up from our center and 4 units down. And then the same with the eccentricity. That is how round it is, how close it is to a circle. That would be b squared minus a squared, the big number minus the small number, divided by b instead of a. So when we do that, we have the square root of 25 minus 9 divided by b, which is 5. So square root of 16 over 5, which is 4 over 5.